Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Keith Andrew, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network brings to you Breaking Barriers. So that's right, we have a brand new show. We're no longer referred as the talk show host of a learning disability. I'm now the talk show host with a learning disability, Breaking Barriers. So the Keith Andrew Network presents Breaking Barriers. And that's available on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and all social media. So we have a great guest here on the Keith Andrew Network. She is an upcoming professional actress. We're going to hear about some of the films she was a part of, some great stories about the entertainment world. First question I want to tell all of you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Our goal is to reach 500 to more views. But for people who want to know a little about me, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And we're going to hear from our guests when we come back from this commercial break.
Hi, my name is Marla Freeman. I'm being interviewed by Keith Andrews Network. I'm very impressed with this gentleman. He's a great interviewer. He's asked some great questions, and I'm very impressed with him, quite honestly.
For the quick commercial break, I'm here with the talented and beautiful Ms. Freeman. Welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. You were on our show a long time ago. I believe it was Season 9, Episode 800. Don't worry about it. As we're talking, it will be on the screen. That was a double interview. And I do want to apologize publicly that it took a long time for us to do a one-on-one interview. But you know what? The past is the past. You're here now, and this is your time. So the first subject I want to ask you, well, first question actually, is how have you been?
I've been good. I've been trying to keep busy. So, the industry has been a little bit slow up until this point. So I've been, doing a lot of classes and doing a lot of workshops with the casting directors and just keeping very busy. Doesn't seem like I have any free time during the week anymore.
No, absolutely. It's better busy than, just sitting around and that's watching the paint dry, right?
True, very true.
So the first one I want to talk to you about, first subject actually, it's called icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you became an upcoming professional actress.
Um, God, you know what? I've always loved acting ever since I was a little kid. I, took a bunch of acting classes when I was really young, and I did a lot of community theater. And then about 6, 7 years ago, I started getting really interested. Well, I was interested years ago, but I got married, I had kids, I had to work full time. I just didn't have any time at all for any acting. Um, Kids are gone out of the house now. They're college. They went to college and left the house. So I figured, you know what? Now's the time to do it. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I started taking acting classes again, and just really started getting into it. And it's a frustrating industry, but I love it. I love acting. I enjoy it.
No, absolutely. And that's the same way how I feel about my talk show. I found something that I'm really good at. All my life, people say to me, I fall under the spectrum because I can't read and write. I wasn't qualified. So I said, screw it. I'm going to show you with a disability, I will create my own opportunity. And for 12 and a half years, thanks to you, we did 1,200 and actually, yes, 1,226 episodes.
Amounts of talk shows you've done.
No, absolutely. So the next one I want to talk to you about, let's go back to your college years. because we like to add some fun questions, great creative questions. Then we're going to go to the hard-hitting ones. But well, let me ask you, when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal? And what did you major in?
I majored in, well, I started out kind of majoring in liberal arts and then switched to psychology. And then I switched again to business management and marketing. I unfortunately was not a party animal. I went to a commuter school. I grew up in Queens, New York, and I went to Queens College. So I went to school all day, then hopped on a bus and went to work, worked till 10 o'clock at night, and came home and did my homework and whatever I had to do. I was pretty boring in college.
For me, a lot of people think I'm a loser, but I like this subject. And I'm always like, we're going to talk about Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel in a little bit. And I watch their shows. I like Bill Maher, even though people say, "Oh, why do you like Bill Maher? He's a mark." But I watch it for the entertainment purposes. So, like, okay, what can I take from their show and import it to my show? So, one of the questions I came up with over the years is, let me ask you, did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole circus thing?
Human pyramids, you've done them when I was younger. I
I
always had to be towards the top because I'm small, but
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
you're not a loser.
But that's like I don't want to be a carbon copy of Bill Maher, Jimmy Fallon. I'm like, okay, I like this question. I like human pyramids. How can I make it entertaining? What can I do so people would say, I never thought you would even ask that question. I was surprised. But it's you need to be original. Everything, especially with everything you have done, it's really hard to be an original copy in an entertainment world where everything has been done before. And let me ask you, how do you stand out from the mold? What makes you different?
Than other actors, you mean?
Yes.
Um, well, one thing is I love comedy. So they say it's funny because when you do a lot of these workshops with the casting directors, I hear all the time that comedy is actually much harder than drama. To me, I find it very easy. I grew up with a very sarcastic father, so I always had that natural sense of timing with comedy and a sarcastic sense of humor. So I enjoy that, and that kind of makes me stand out from a lot of the other actresses. Everybody I in my community is wonderful, but I think that's one place where I differ. A lot of them don't have that comedic timing. They do the drama very well. Another thing is my New York accent. Um, a lot of, and I think it hurts me too in some ways, but from what I understand, that's what makes me stand out in a lot of situations is my New Yorkness. I come off as tough, and even though it's probably totally opposite than what I am, but
Well, I think you're completely wonderful. And a lot of people think, and I'm not kissing your butt or anything, I was being honest. And a lot of people think I have like an accent. When I'm nervous, I slur my words a little bit. And I'm like, where are you from? Oh, New York. Oh, like the city, upstate. You kind of sound like an accent. I'm like, yeah, well, if I stop slurring my words, would it make it like an accent? But I can definitely relate, my dad's sarcastic too, he's not nasty, but funny. Um, I used to be a dog trainer, and I used to call myself the dog trainer with learning disability. So my dad said to me, "Wait, you only train dogs who have disabilities?"
that's interesting. How do you know if a dog has a disability?
No, that was the joke he was making.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I, I think it's funny, but a lot of people tell me don't quit my day job as a comedian. But let me ask you this, and then we can take a quick commercial break. The last time we talked, I believe it was 2019, so this was before COVID. So the question
Right.
subject actually I'm going to talk to you about is how has COVID impacted your life, and do you see life and your career in a different point of view?
Um, a lot of things over the last 5 years have changed a lot of the industry. Well, COVID, of course, everything went to, Zoom and self tapes where no more in-person auditions. Um, it also changed a lot with the strike. We had COVID and then we had the strike. We had the writer's strike, and then all of a sudden we had, SAG strike. Of course, my luck, I joined SAG right before the strike hit. So once I did that, I couldn't work any non-union jobs. Um, but things have changed a lot over the last years. And then you had the whole how the industry went through all this diversity stuff because of what happened, a few years back. So now, besides the fact that I'm union and I can't work non-union, now all of a sudden I'm being looked over for a lot of roles because everybody was looking for that diversity and looking for ethnic looking people. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it went from this side to this side and it was like no in between. So it's been a rough few years, but it's starting to come back a little bit now.
Yeah, I just hate when people say you have to be politically correct. I
Yeah.
mean, but it's like if you fit the part, it's kind of like why does race matter? Yes, I know you're supposed to be casting for a black actor for a black role, but if this person from different race, doesn't matter, can bring entertainment, it can make you laugh. Why can't you can just it doesn't matter, people just you sneeze the wrong way, you're going to offend somebody. My
Yeah.
attitude is have fun with it, and if you're the right fit, do what makes you happy. Don't try to categorize, people in a certain part, but then you're only going to set yourself up for failure, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the industry really did have to shift a little bit. I understand that, absolutely. But I think they took it a little too far. Give you an example, I went to see a Broadway show, The Notebook, which was, really good. But I was so confused the first half because it shows a couple in three different phases of their life.
Right.
So it started off with an Asian girl and I believe it was a white boy. And then part of the way they showed them a little older, but now all of a sudden it was, like an African American guy and a white girl. It was just they kept changing, and I don't care if you put a purple person and a yellow person, but keep it consistent throughout the show. They were trying so hard to be diverse, but it wasn't consistent, and it drove me crazy. So I think you know diversity is definitely important, but do it in the proper way.
No,
That makes any sense.
that's how I feel about when you gender swap someone. Like this is supposed to be a male role, but I think you would do a better job with it. If you do it the right way and it feels right, not in that way, obviously, but if you do it the right way, then it's not like I'll give you an example. Fantastic Four recently came out, and for the longest time, he was a male character. So in the new movie, they changed it to a female character. But it didn't matter because she fit the role, she fit the part. A
Right.
lot of people just have this box mentality. If it goes in the box, it stays in the box. But for people like us, we think outside of the box, and then we're called weird because we're going against the norm.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Found when we come back. Back from a quick commercial break. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means? If you're a fan of professional wrestling, definitely check out TNA Wrestling, available on YouTube and all social medias. But the next thing I want to talk to you about, you are in the film a story called Found. As we're talking, the pictures on the screen. What can you tell us about was it a play, TV show? What is Found?
No, that was a movie that a friend of mine had written, and she actually wrote. It's about four women, and she actually wrote my part, based on me, about a woman from New York City who's husband was cheating on her, and it was a funny movie. It was a short movie, and it was very funny, and it actually went to many film festivals, and that's the film I actually won a Best Actress award for. So it was pretty happy, and my friend was very proud of her film.
No, absolutely. And congratulations on winning an award.
Thank you.
Now, the next film I want to talk to you about is the Bitter, I'm not a buzzer this one, The Better Sister.
Yeah, that's on Amazon Prime. Um, I was cast in it, small parts, for a reporter, TV reporter. So I got to meet Jessica Biel and Gloria Rubens, and it was a fun day. We shot out on Long Island at a courthouse, and it was you kind of feel good when you get a speaking role because get your own little trailer compartment and they treat you real nice. But it was a lot of fun to do that show, and it's good to see yourself on TV and see your name in the credits.
Well, actually, the other two that I saw was called X Recall. And what's actually streaming right now is Madoff, the Monster of Wall Street.
Yes, I played Sonia Cohn, who was, they said, the female Bernie Madoff. It was a good friend of his, a German banker, and I played uh, I played her in the show. It was supposed to be. I was supposed to be in like several scenes. I was in, I think, two scenes, but that was fun. Only they kind what they did with that part was you see me talking, but you don't really hear me. But that's okay. I got to work with Joel. I'm trying to remember his name, Joe Burlinger, who's done all those. He did a lot of shows on Netflix, and a very nice man,
Oh,
director.
definitely. I will definitely check it out. And if anyone has Netflix, definitely check out your show. But the
Okay.
next one I want to talk about, it's a new segment we're going to bring back on the show called Breaking News. So today on Breaking News, what is your opinion about Free Eye Atlas? Do you really believe there's a UFO coming towards Earth, or do you think it's just something to distract us?
To be honest, I'm not too familiar with that news. There's been so much going on that I watch the news in the morning, but I try not to watch too much of it because, to be quite honest, it upsets me.
No, I agree with you. Long story short, 7 months ago, they found an asteroid that was supposed to come to Earth. We're fast forward 7 months later. Now it's actually supposedly it's a UFO. Maybe it's real, maybe it's fake. I just think it's something to distract people.
Probably is. I believe there's something out there. I think we're a little too arrogant to think we're the only ones here. But whether that's true or not, you're probably right. It probably is something to distract us for obvious reasons. But
Now,
you know what? Maybe it'll be good for us.
no, absolutely. We definitely need a wake up call with all the crap going on in today's
Oh yeah,
world. Now,
it's a
before
shame.
I
It's an ugly world right now.
It is. You sneeze the wrong way, you're gonna offend somebody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it over to you, but let me ask you, how do you feel about ABC? Now that I'm saying it, they're probably not gonna interview me, but who cares? Hey, how do you feel about ABC canceling the Jimmy show?
Um, I don't feel it's right, to be quite honest. I don't want to get too political because I mean it was a terrible thing that happened to Charlie Kirk. A man should not be gunned down like that. I did not agree with what he stood for or things he said, but yeah, obviously being shot like that in front of his wife and kids is a horrible, horrible thing. Nobody should be killed. But at the same token, I saw what Jimmy Kimmel said, and he didn't say anything horrible.
Yeah, I saw her too. It
This is
was
what
also,
late night is for. This is what late night TV is for. When Colbert got fired, and then they said Kimmel's going to be next, and sure enough, Kimmel is next, and I believe it's bullying. I believe they're taking away our rights, our constitutional rights. I just don't think any of it is fair, to be quite honest.
and now Colbert and there's another one. I'm like, what's the point of having entertainment shows and if you're gonna censor everybody? It's like
Yeah. And
you
you can't
can't
do it for one and not the other.
right, you can't
There's
fix
been plenty
stupid.
said from the other side as well. It should be one and not the other.
You can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4.
Yeah. I mean, when the first happened, the whole shooting, I mean, I saw a lot of people from both sides of the fence, Republicans, Democrats. There was so much going on, and it was terrible that people on the left were talking about, oh, they're glad he's dead. That's a horrible thing to say. But, on the right, they were also saying things and blaming. They didn't even catch the guy yet, and they were blaming the left. So it's just the whole thing is just really screwed up.
No, I agree
And for
with you.
Jimmy didn't really do anything. I think they just were out to get him, and they're trying to take over for whatever reason.
Unfortunately, we're heading towards a dictatorship, and that's
Yes.
really not good. But
No,
not to
the whole thing is horrible.
talk about political things if you don't want to. This is your time. But let me ask you, you mentioned you're part of SAG Extra. How does someone become a member and would you recommend it?
Um, yeah, it looks good when you're part of SAG-AFTRA. You're part of the union. It makes you appear more serious. A lot of projects on TV, network TV, they like to have SAG actors, though there's nothing wrong with being what they say SAG eligible. To become SAG, you have to do a certain amount of SAG projects. And once you do those SAG projects, you become SAG eligible, and you could stay SAG eligible until you get a project like a network TV show that says you're a must join at that point. So you have to pay the fee for SAG aftra, and then the dues every year. But it's supposedly it's a good thing. Pay is higher, and you do get some benefits with SAG.
I thought about it, but I'm not an actor. But hey, never say never. But the reason I
Exactly.
bring it up, during the whole strike, people also talked about AI. Do you think AI is going to replace writers?
I hope not. I don't believe AI is great for certain things. It's not for everything. As much as AI can write things, it lacks the human emotion, and you need that in writing.
I agree with you. I had a doctor's appointment today and I called to cancel it. You can't even get a real person. I had to talk to an AI machine. It's like, I used to work at Walmart. I enjoyed being a cashier. So now you're replacing real people with AIs. You're getting rid of cashiers because for self-checkouts, it's kind of like we get it because the investors and the stockbrokers and the big name companies they save more money if they have a machine than having a real person there. It's kind of like it's really shitty. What can you do if you really want to work?
Yeah, it's putting a lot of people out of work. As a matter of fact, it is a shitty thing, and we're losing the personal touch. It's like I've been in sales my whole life, and now everything's done by text or by computer, by email. We're lacking that personal touch in everything we do now. People don't have that connection anymore the way we did years ago. And I probably sound like an old woman, but I kind of miss that in a lot of ways. You used to get a customer service person online. Now it's very frustrating. You try to call customer service, you can't get through. You have to push a million and one buttons. I wind up screaming at the phone and I'm screaming to nobody. So
I do that
it's
too.
yeah,
And it's like
it's just
zero. Then it say something else, zero, something else, zero. This
yeah.
is the right person, right?
I start screaming, just get me somebody.
So, but we're wrapping up. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But let me ask you, what's next for you around the horizon? Is there any new films, any new books you're looking at? What new project? Keep saying
I'm writing
products. Is-
I'm writing a couple of things. I'm writing a movie and also a series. So I'm hoping to those will go somewhere. It's hard, but you try. I just filmed actually a movie the other day in the city, small part, but that was a lot of fun. I love being on set. But I am writing a bunch of things because, to be quite honest, a woman my age, there aren't a lot of parts for it. So the only way I could get parts is by writing them. So I'm doing that, and we shall see. Whatever happens, happens. I just, you got to play it by ear in this industry.
Absolutely. And you're more than welcome to be back on the show anytime you would like. Now, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to come back on the show, what made you say yes, and how do you feel now?
I enjoy it. You're great to speak with, and I mean, I feel good talking to you. There's no hidden agenda.
No, absolutely. And I want to talk about the big elephant in the room, and I would love to have your support on this. A while ago, someone left a nasty review on my page,
Did they
and
really?
pretty much they call me a scammer. Now, with everything that you've seen on my work, and you've been on my on my show actually 2 times, you know, what is your opinion about it? Do you think the guy was really out of line?
Why would somebody call you a scammer?
The reason it
I
did is
don't understand that.
the reason for that is because I said I charge for my time. And so like I charge $42. And then now that's good for me. What you get out of it is you get a professional interview. I'm going to write an article about you. You're having a platform to share your message, share anything that you want. My job, so pretty much you're hiring me to represent you. And as long as you're viewed in a positive light, it's like a business transaction. You get something, I get something, and pretty much what happened was this person said you don't pay people to be on interviews, and I said I'm unable to work, but I have a strong passion for what I do. Been doing this for 12 and a half years. I want to do this to the day I die. And but the biggest thing, and he just blew it out of proportion. And he's like, "Well, if I'm going to be miserable, I'm going to make you miserable too."
You know what? Some people are just not happy no matter what. And unfortunately, you're always going to come across somebody. Just let it pass. Don't even pay attention to it. That's obviously somebody who's not happy with themselves and they're taking it out on you, unfortunately. They could be jealous or, we all run across it. I've run across it numerous times with in this industry and past industries with my regular job. You just can't satisfy everybody, but you can't let it get to you either. Just move on. Just he's an idiot, and move on.
That's true. When you try to please everyone, you're setting yourself up for failure. But
Exactly.
this interview will be shared on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. So you're going to get big exposure for this. You're more than welcome to be a guest on my show. I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to support a talk show host with a disability. I hope I made a good impression on you. And anytime you'd like to come back, you're more than welcome to. So until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you and have a good night.